New Man United goalkeeper Senne Lammens has impressed everyone in training except one person who is the most important to indeed give a green light for him to start in between the sticks for Manchester United in our next game against Chelsea. Will he? I'll tell you who has said, yeah, I think he's ready. But what is going on with Matthews Cunha and his injury situation? Well, we are hoping this injury does not really keep him out for long, but he missed the Manchester derby. Will he miss the visit from the Blues? We'll get to know that in a bit. I've got an update on it. But Captain Fantastic Bruno Fernandez turning again now. Another big milestone for him. 200 games in a Manchester United shirt. And he has made so many assists this season. None. But will indeed respect him and give all the credit to him for the work he has done in the years he has been at Man United. Are you putting in the work to learn how to earn online, or are you just on the internet to just enjoy football, banter about Man United and everything, but not earn a single penny? If you are that kind of person, don't you be. Because the internet can pay you, can change your life. You can use your time online better to bring in money for yourself somewhere on top of the enjoyments you get from the different platforms you visit every minute or every second when you're online. But I also remind you that for only 39,000 Uganda shillings, you can get to enjoy football in the way football is supposed to be enjoyed on DStv with their Kawiki package in Uganda. Enjoy the Champions League, Rasmus Hojlund returning to Man City. Enjoy Scott McTominay teaming up with Kevin De Bruyne to cause trouble to Rodri and the mighty Donnarumma, all for 39k. Honestly, football never gets better than that or cheaper than that. Stop pirating and enjoy football the right way. Let's get into it. So what's going on? First of all, Tom Heaton, who was given a contract of 1 year, and people look at him more of as a coach player at Man United in terms of the goalkeeping department. But Tom Heaton was the first person to come out publicly and mention that this boy is generational. He's special. He's different. He's so good at the fundamentals of goalkeeping, Tom Heaton said. And he believes that what he has seen of him in the first weeks in training is so good. And he mentioned to him and told him, yeah, you're good at this and that, the fundamentals. And guys, aren't these the things that Onana and Altel proved to lack in the so many Howler Field games we saw them playing? He spoke about how he's a good, calm character, but with a presence and a personality. What you need from a goalkeeper. That's what you want from a goalkeeper. Look at a goalkeeper like David De Gea, a goalkeeper like Van der Sar. Look at Donnarumma. All the best goalkeepers have that personality. They don't talk a lot, but they're present. When they are in goal, they are different human beings. They communicate. They command respect and presence in their zone, in that box. That's your zone as a goalkeeper. Now, Senne Lammens is believed to have that, and this is probably why Man United paid about 21 million quid for him. Now, I've heard legends at Man United again coming out to destroy the kid even before he makes his debut. I heard arguably the best goalkeeper in the history of Man United, and honestly, to my disappointment, in Peter Schmeichel. I think the pressure for these former United players, or so-called legends, to trend and be talked about or be quoted and be right is making them lose, I think, the very gist of who they should be, because I think they should be the first guys to protect these players because they were there before. I, who had never played for Man United, can comfortably come out here on the United Road Sport somewhere in Africa and shout and attack these players for fun, as a fan, as a, even if I wasn't a fan, as a hater. You can't do that. But as a former player, before a debut for a young player like this, joining a club you claim to support, you cannot come out as Peter Schmeichel and publicly state that this boy, you've never heard of him, United made a mistake with him, you've never heard of him. So what? Who are you? Is it that you've got to have heard of every best goalkeeper in the world? Is it his job now to know every best goalkeeper in the world that's fit to play for Man United? I think for me, these legends of United just lose it at times. They just do not get it. And they don't see, by the way, that they are the biggest contributors to the mess these managers at Man United face, because it's their statements that pile the pressure on the managers and the players, because these players have TVs, they have families, they have friends, they have phones. They watch these things, they get to them and they destroy them. So you cannot claim to want to help the players by destroying them with your very first statement, even before a debut, for a young boy living a dream. For you who came from Denmark and Belgium are one and the same. It's a dream. Like he left Denmark, that is Peter Schmeichel, to go to Manchester United, to England, and play football at Man United. This boy lives Belgium to go and try a new life at Man United, a big dream, and you're destroying him on arrival. I think for me, even before in fact arrival, I think for me it's so wrong and gross and painful. And I'm hoping that this kid does perform and disappoints these guys who claim to be the almighty Mr. Know-it-alls. So let's wait and see. But Lamens, I'm hoping, will start in between the sticks. I think Amorim knows the pressure is there, the expectation is there, because if he doesn't start unless he's injured or unless he's really not ready, and I would be shocked if United really signed a goalkeeper who is not ready. But I think the pressure and the desire for people to see something different will force him to start the kid for the Chelsea game. Now, we've got a beautiful record against Chelsea. Can you imagine that in 12 visits at Old Trafford, Chelsea has not beaten United? They last beat us in 2013. 2013, the year Sir Alex Ferguson retired, or if you call it that. And we've got an Mbeumo who has got a decent record against them. If his past games with Brentford are anything to go by, we've got this game, I think we've drawn 7 times. I think it's the most draws in a single fixture in the Premier League, by the way, in the history of the game. We just keep drawing. I hope this time around that's the worst result, but I'm hoping we win it because I think we can after having watched that Chelsea against Bayern. But the key thing in this game, I think, of course, Cunha, in terms of his update and the injuries, we understand he won't be rushed. Amorim won't rush him. He's not a big, serious injury, but Amorim cannot afford to risk with Cunha. Understandably. I mean, he's your hope. Him and Mbeumo are his only hope now. So you don't risk. Without them, it's a whole different team. So if you can be patient a bit for them to be fit, you don't try and force them in when they're half fit or when they're, because this is a hamstring injury that he sustained. The injuries, even if it looks light, you have to handle it with care. So you don't want to be excited and put yourself under pressure for him to be there because you want to get a win and perform for the gallery and you're desperate for him, but then risk him for maybe even longer because he can come on and force it, but be destroyed for long. So I reports claim that whereas he's recovering well in the gym, I think Chelsea will be a bit too early for him, given that this is just here this weekend's game. But Captain Fantastic Bruno Fernandez is going to be making 200 appearances if he plays that game or when he plays that game. Why wouldn't he? He's never missed a game when he's fit unless he's got a card. Or in total, he has missed only 6 games because of injury, and he's not. So I think he will make his 200th appearance. In what position? We are hoping to see a different position, perhaps without Cunha. Maybe he'll be pushed and start the game up top as one of the 2 10s with Mbeumo. And then we see Kobe come in and perhaps try to push from the middle as the number 8. But the thing with Bruno coming into this game, and despite the fact that he's yet to make an assist, I think Bruno seems to be the guy who loves those records and, to be seen and praised for the records he's made and stuff. And I feel this will make coming. He will know, he's aware that he'll be making a 200th appearance. And I think he will show up different. I want him to do something, either make an assist, because if you look at the stats he's made, he has made 51 assists in the 200, in the 199 games he has played for Man United. He will be becoming only the 28th red to reach that milestone. And he has got 51 assists. It's only David Beckham with 62 who has made more assists than him in his first 200 Premier League games for Man United. Now, he has created the most chances. That's both overall and from open play. That's 14 overall and 10 from open play in the Premier League this season. But it is so unbelievable that he's yet to grab an assist for himself, even with all those chances he has created. It's indeed insane. 14, 10, and not single assist has come out of that. But at least those have contributed to what United, I think the best stat United can brag about so far this season is the fact that we've got so many shots on goal. We are not shy of shots because we've made 94 shots in our last 4 games, home games in the Premier League. That's again under Ruben Amorim, and 20 at least in every game is what we've attempted. Now, the last time United had 20 plus shots in more consecutively games was at home. That's at Old Trafford. Was in March and in September. That's between March and September in 2012. In March and September. in 2012. That's with Sir Alex Ferguson. Can you imagine? Those were 8 games in a row. So you see why I say that whereas we are not getting results or the wins, we are on a journey to get them. I think there are things you've got to do to get to a point where you're winning games. And I feel like we are on a good journey to that. And Chelsea could be our next first, I would say. Again, to some, Burnley is negligible a win, but they could be our next victim. And after watching them against Bayern Munich, I actually think Chelsea can be stretched and beaten. They are beatable if you're quick up top. I feel like their defense can be easily forced into errors. Yesterday or last night in the Champions League, they were lucky. In fact, they could have lost worse in a worse manner. But had it been for Sanchez, their goalkeeper, I thought he kept them a lot in the game. I wonder what it would have been if, for example, Altel Bayindir or Onana was the one in between the sticks. So it's a beatable team, I think, considering everything around this game. I'm hoping that Benjamin Sesko finally gets to break the duck and get his first goal, first of many goals, really. And I think it would be a good time for us to restart. I honestly feel like this game can be the start of something different and special, the game that turns it around for us. I feel like it can happen, and that's belief, honestly. It's all belief, which I think is all we need now, because many of the things, the signs show that we can progress with this team. So let's wait and see what happens. My name is Webb. This is the Nairo Sport. Peace, love, and harmony. Come and learn how to earn online. 39K DStv. Watch football. Hoyland against Donnarumma tonight.